Hey y'all, come on and sit on the porch, on the stoop. I got a porch here. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, I had stoops. That opening song was made for me by Tyree Walsh and his cousin, um, Sean Walsh. And I could tell that was going down like that because I've had problems with this since yesterday's workout. And seeing that I am neither um, I have like a TP art thing. This is like the light in the back and everything. If y'all, this is my artwork. Yeah, that's my artwork from a paint and sip. Come on in. Come on to the Bed-Sty Brownstone stories and why I love T.S. Woman. So I made it. I got my little notes here because something dawned on me. I'm not okay. For those who are just tuning in and don't know anything about what's going on, um, oh, excuse me, man. I don't know if you're supposed to do this during a recording, but I've seen it done. It's not something you want to do, but I just figure if I get up and cut off the sound now, since I've noticed it, it's better when the dogs come, because 4:30 and 5:30, the dogs come alive. Anyway, so I always had an affinity and a love for the community. And it came out more so in my 50s. But I couldn't relate back to how this is happening. Why do I know certain things about the LGBTQ community? I couldn't going I didn't go all the way back to my 20s. It was 20s. Anyway, I didn't go that far back. So for me, from 30 on, from 30 to 50, talking about 20 years, I couldn't see anything that would tie me to the community. But yeah, I gave the donations, I did the support, and all involved. But in the 50s, I don't know, do you guys remember Logo? LOGO? That's the channel that it just came this morning. That's the channel I used to look at RuPaul Drag Race. I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I remember when it was on Logo. I think it left Logo and went to VH1. And something with me, it became so mainstream. Somehow when it was Logo, I don't know. Weird, right? So, I was all into it. Loved it. I know the pain, the thing, the whole 9 yards. What I loved the most, which I couldn't understand, was, and I do believe it was on Logo because I kind of stopped looking at it. I think he turned to VH1, not MTV, VH1. Right? I think he's still there. Or did he touch down on one of the women's entertainment or something like that? Anyway, he had Drag University. See, yeah, Drag University. And I liked it. I remember when he would bring women in that looked like me, as he called them, giving up on, making themselves look like women. And by the time the girls got finished with those women, teaching them different I'm telling you, I'm all in this drag you. I mean, me and my daughter, the best thing ever. Best thing ever. To me and her, we loved it. But I couldn't understand what I love. Why am I so festive? None of my friends looked at it. It was like drag you. Oh, you know, oh, there you go. You know. So I was like, okay. I was really into it, and then it was gone. RuPaul, it was gone. I think RuPaul got rid of it. It was just gone, and they switched over to making men look like women. And then it wasn't anymore. But I think there was 2 seasons with Drag You, and they would find the frumpies like me, and but I was so into it. I can't. I kept saying, "Why am I in this? Nobody I know is talking about. Other than me and my daughter, no one's talking about uh, drag race and drag you, anything RuPaul went in." So I may have been with him, uh, with RuPaul over to VH1, whatever station he was on when they were doing the vodka, when they would do the after the race, and the ones who are staying would go in the room and they would have their cocktails. They would have their cocktails, and then they would move to another room and then they would talk. The best. Oh, they were so good and so emotionally charged, and I'm into it, and I'm like, why are you into this? What are you doing? Well, I mean, I felt it to my bone marrow. I didn't think about my in transition from man to woman, Martin. Like I said, when we was by ourselves, we could be girls. But then the times that when we were around other people, and I would say so and so girl, he would give me a look, and I was like, "But you look like a girl, I'm going girl." But it was a lot. But this was back in the early '80s. It's not like it is now. So don't judge me by standards now. It wasn't like that then. You know, if I said that and somebody in the room was like, "Oh, hater," they could attack my Martin. So anyway, let me tell you, let me back up a little bit. The brownstone part of this is where I met Martin. I was like 22, 23. I had my daughter, had my divorce, got married, had a child, had a divorce, and trying to find my way through life. And I met Martin through my friend Vanessa, who lived in the brownstone next to me up on the third floor. She had like 2 to 3 kids and was married. Her and her husband married out of high school. So it was Vanessa who knew Martin first, and she would wave at Martin, and then I waved at Martin, and you know, and that's how T.S. Martin and I became friends. I mean, he was. Vanessa told me. See, back in the day, they didn't say trans as TS. That everybody was a drag queen. Everybody was drag queen back then. Everybody was drag queen. But when I got to know Martin, Martin was all woman, all woman, all woman, more woman than Vanessa, more woman than me. Remember, we as African American women, we are taught in the beat down lane. Okay, we's raised in the beat down lane, especially my generation, and especially the culture I went through in the South, in the Bible Belt, where women are definitely men's ass wipes. But it's okay because it's condoned by this religious book, and everybody talk about it, so it's fine. They always say, "Oh, when are men gonna stop killing women?" As long as there's a book about and people and cults around to condone it, You could always tell it's a cult by how they treat their women, how the women are raised, how the girls are raised. You can tell the cults. It doesn't matter how educated you are. That's what fooled me for a while. I was like, how could you be so educated and believe this dribble drabble dribble? Because it's a cult. It's all inclusive under the dribble drabble dribble. That's another thing. Just a little side note. That's why I can't understand why T.S. Madison and the girls are so dying to get into this cult when you don't know you're as free as you're ever going to be. Why are you trying to get in chains when you are free? If you walking in here living your truth out loud, you are free. You don't need no cult. You don't need no chains. We women are chains. Martin was more women than all of us. Yeah, she liked the men. Yeah, she did. But she, they always say, women are looking like drag queens. No, 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 no. Martin felt woman inside and expressed it on the outside. He was woman in here. And then he woke the woman in here inside me. And that's how we do it. We like feeling good and we like looking good. So that's when I was in R. He was living being the woman out loud. When I was living there, okay, let me tell you what I learned. I went to live with my grandmother. I was what, 14, 15. I learned that um, women's sole purpose is for men. Another woman's sole purpose is to have kids for men. Sole purpose is to take care of the man and the woman and the kids that she had from. Um, to feed and make sure, cook, and all that stuff. And that's your purpose. There was nothing about for you. I wasn't raised like that. That's why when I met Martin, it was. I mean, I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. That's a woman. That's that's a woman. Happy, smiling, made up, hair done. We didn't have all these nail stuff like they have now. And Martin taught me how to put on press on nails. So we used to press each other's nails on. And then we would, yeah. And then we put the books on our head and we act like we were models and stuff like that. But I had forgotten about those times. I told you those 22, 23. But now I have this attraction. I'm in my 50s. Now I'm 60s. And I have such a drawn attraction for the community. I mean, I know a lot about the community. I mean, everything about the community I'm interested in. If Corona hadn't come, I was going to make my way down to Manhattan, the Bronx, wherever TS was going to be, honey. TS Medicine, I was going to be there. Me and my daughter, we was looking to see when, oh God, Bob the drag queen was going to come by. Bianca, from TS. I met Flame and Spill It Boy and Treasure. Was Spill It Boy and Treasure the same thing? I mean, I want to see them like Miss Sophia. I want to be in that audience when she opens up. I mean, I am all into it. Happy, happy, happy. And then Corona came. So now I'll be in quarantine for 2 years in March. But anyway, I couldn't. I was like, what? Why am I? What? How? What is this connection here? Why am? I mean, I'm taken. I looked at, what is it, Valentine's Heart? Only could look at it once. I was inconsolable. I cried a river. There's even a Spanish show, uh, a, uh, a transgender woman in the lead, and something with a little boy, a little girl. So I started to, totally touched, totally into it, but you have to read it because the subtitles, so lose something in translation. But anyway, I was there, and then, but I'm still not connecting where this is coming to, where this is coming to. So now I'm like, sister been working out, looking good, steaming, happy on the inside. And I said to myself, because that's where I was raised in the cult. And the cult came back because on one side I'm saying, listen, if I don't have no relationship with a man again, no. I look at these men, old men around here, and I said to myself, y'all don't even try to take care of yourself. I am not. I am not gonna be your ass wife. You're not gonna use me as your doormat because you were taught to do nothing to take care of yourself. Men of my generation taught no way how to take care of yourself, but to be the woman into taking care of you, or sitting in the room by yourself eating canned beans. And I was like, I don't want that. Oh, I don't even want to. I don't want to be pick out that barrel, honey. I don't want to pick a pickle out that barrel. So that was not gonna happen. No, 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 no. So I was like, what kind of man would you like? I was like, I like a transgender woman as my mate until I leave this earth. Yep. Yep, a transgender woman as a mate until I leave this earth. Well, I know she's taking care of herself. I see her. Way better than these old men are. And I don't want a young transgender woman. TLC, and I know if you go back over and over and over to Bed-Stuy Brownstone stories, you'll hear me say it. TLC has a story called In Transition. All right, here comes the gang. And in transition, it's these couples who were together for a while. And then the man, as he's getting older into retirement, he was like, on the inside, I've always been a woman. And at this age, I would like to bring that on the outside. And the women were beside themselves. They couldn't understand it. I mean, one man, he had like 4 or 5 kids. I think he was married to an Indonesian woman, and it was hard for her to deal with and I was like, that's the best. I was like, I wouldn't kick him out. That's the time you keep him. I mean, you got 4 kids. He's connected with that woman inside of him. Let that come out. Let him stay there. What's wrong with you? And then I'm saying to myself, how do I know that? How do I know that? How do I know she has the best of both worlds? He liked to go shopping. He liked spending money. He liked looking good. He faced the folks as a woman. I was like, keep him. She's like, I don't know. Then the other woman, I really liked him. And I think her name was Cindy. And I was like, keep him. She's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can if we could have that type of relationship. And I was like, that's the best relationship ever. That's your best girlfriend. In my head, I don't even know why I'm saying this. At the time, I didn't know why I was saying it, but I knew that was the best thing ever. So then the next one was a young couple. They had married right out of high school. They had 2 kids, and from the 2 kids, excuse me a minute, they had the 2 kids, and from the 2 kids, she and I think during the show she was pregnant. So they have 1 kid. She was pregnant, and he was in transition. So she couldn't. She held on the most. She was like, "Well, if this is what you want to do, I mean, I got 2 kids already, and we have a marriage, and if you want us to be good girlfriends, then we'll be good girlfriends, you know." And so I was like, yes, that was the only one. She was the young one. That was the only one. And though she had her issues where he lost his job and everything because he totally came out the cars, but I could totally understand how he feel. Martin couldn't do that. He was trying to, but they judged him so strongly. They judged him so strongly that you know, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at, and to me, the guys are like perfect. They're just like perfect, perfect, perfect. You know, for me. So I'm looking at in transition, and I'm realizing that that's what I want. That's the mate that I want for me. And that's the mate that I want for me. And hold on a second. I don't know. I may have to find another day to do the recording. Okay. Hold on a second. See, in the summertime, I think I'll do everything in the basement. But now, of course, in the winter, I'll have the thermos thing coming up too. Here we go. But for now, I tell you, woof. I tell you. So so I realized that's the mate that I want. You know, that's the person that I want to spend my time with. I want someone, an older man, 60, 70. I think Caitlyn Jenner, I know they go for the young people. I know my time space. It's not long. But after that, I mean, after that, they're gonna go for the they're gonna go for the younger people. They are going to go because they do that, and they go gay. But if you are a good woman, you know how, and go gay, that's insulting. But they'll want anal stimulation, and as a woman, you should know how to do that. Okay, so now I have this list. Y'all can hear me. I don't know if I should put music on in the background. I don't know what to do. I'll be down in the basement, but like I say now, I'll just have the thing. I'm gonna try to do something. Don't go anywhere, please. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oh boy. Oh boy. I tell you. I'm here, y'all. I tell you, I'm worse than Kim Whitley. At least she comes back. I'm sorry, I should have probably turned up the music. But there's no noises in this house until I get on my live. And then the house wakes totally up. Please forgive me on that one. I tried texting, I tried telling, I tried everything and totally being ignored. So I love doing Bed-Stuy Brownstone stories, but I'm telling you. So, anyway, I had to go fly the stairs and everything. Whoa. So, that's the basis. That's the Brownstone side of it. That's where my connection to the community comes from, was my connection with Martin. So, I told you so. Okay, so the first drag race I saw, it was on Logo. Like I said, I love Drag U. Loved Drag U. Especially more with when it was the women than the men. I wouldn't miss the episode. Now, see, this is why I love TS Women. I told you about from In Transition. And that's what I want. But a few things. Okay. Oh, okay. Do y'all remember Fuse? It's probably still on. It's probably still on cable. But Fuse had this show called House. It was about the community, but it was them in the ballroom. I'm probably messing up the whole dialogue and the sport and everything. And they would. It's Pause now. I don't know. It's Pause, Pose. What was on FOX or something? But I looked at it on Fuse and it was House. And I just remember this beautiful transgender young girl. I mean, everything that she was going through. And I just understood the whole, how they needed the mother, how they need to be together, how they need to support each other, like totally. I love that part. And of course, I didn't see it come back on again. I didn't see House with Fuse come back on. I loved it. Every time when Maddie does on Madison After Dark, I think it is, on Fox, on her channel, where she does that with Litanya. That reminds me, because the way she calls it, that reminds me of House. Now on House, there was this big gay, I don't know, I can't remember what she called herself. But she would call at the dances. She would say, you got to see it. It was awesome. I would get so worked up. I get so excited. I just love to see it. And so when Marinee does the Latanya thing and she talks about dirty hoe, she a nasty hoe, which I love. I start laughing. But I saw that on House. But she had a way of calling. That was her job, to go to these shows, these balls, and that's, she did the calling and stuff. So that was really good. And again, I don't know why I'm loving this. I'm not going back 40 years now to find out why am I connected to the community. So I've just made a few notes. Now, there's one thing I don't understand about the community. And especially because even looking at that house, they had the house of, I don't know if they had the house of Gucci. They had the house of V somebody. I don't know these designers. And But these are all Italian white people. So I'm not understanding. And I'm thinking to myself, I looked at oh man, what's that show where they did the designers, where they would get together with the tailors and the seamstresses and oh gosh, Heidi Fleiss was on there. I think not Heidi Fleiss. Heidi Fleiss was a call girl. Heidi, who was married to Seal, she was on there, and it was, and from that show, so many excellent, I mean, better quality. Those other people are just corporations. So when I look at the community, I say to myself, why y'all still using those old white people thing? From the movie, ain't Gucci just a corporation? And I ain't never seen them advertise with none of y'all shows. And even in house, where everything was a designer name. But I ain't seen no designer commercials, and I ain't seen no designer donations. Why y'all promoting these people? It's just like y'all trying to get in the cults when you can do your own thing. So I mean, now the time is right. I know in some places, and let me tell you, I'll quote the words of the great Ida B. Wells. If you can't do what you want to do where you live, move to a state where you can do it. Don't pay your taxes to stay in a state that ain't going to do nothing for you or ain't going to let you do nothing. Now, that's how I know about cults, because only cults could keep the descendants of the enslaved Africans living in that same oppression, generation after generation. Only a cult can do that. How you can stay where you know you can't get no business. How you can stay in a place where you know you can't get on your feet. That ain't never going to give you a chance. Because of racism, because of sexism, because of all that. It's a cult. And there's only a certain amount at the top and everybody else at the bottom. There's only a few people going to know the Bible, and nobody else is ever going to know it. You can study it for a million billion years. Now, how is that? Okay? So, I just don't understand why y'all giving them folks your little money and all your last money. Because that really doesn't make you a woman. I remember Maddie going back a couple years ago. She used to always get these designer bags. Love designer bags. Love designer bags. And there's this one guy that always sent these beautiful designer bags. He's real. She has hundreds of them. That's not what makes you a woman. And then it definitely ain't gonna make you a woman. Then ain't even gonna put no money in your pocket. It's for others to say, "Oh, she had a beautiful Gucci bag. Oh, she had a beautiful." That's what it is. Don't seem like enough for me. All these young designers out here. When I used to look at the Real Housewives, and then the Braxtons used to come through, and they designers that got through, I know y'all can throw yourselves behind a few of them designers. These old dead designers and the ones that's alive. I was so happy. The other day I was looking at Black Girls Unlost, and they had found terrible thing. This beautiful young woman. Beautiful young woman. Met this guy. Started dating him. I didn't think anything's wrong until she come up missing. And then they find him and they bring him into court, and he's sitting there, and he got a Calvin Klein sweatshirt on. That's where they need to be put at. Yes. Get some of these young designers out here and bring them up. And bring them up. That's one thing I don't understand so much about the community. On one side, you do stick together. On the other side, you're not. Especially when it comes to growing business. Martin couldn't get a job. Now y'all can start businesses, ain't doing shit. That's why I look at T.S. Madison. Because she knew there was times she couldn't do nothing, but now she can do it. She doing it. She doing it. And guess what? On that note, I got Tubi, T-U-B-I, honey, and I will be looking at T.S. Madison turned out 8 o'clock Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday. I'll be looking at it on Tubi. Okay, and I know I'm gonna have a better time. Ooh, that FOXO was cutting it to me every time a commercial came up. I can't do that, but I got the Tubi, so I'll be straight. What else did I read? Yeah. Okay, here. Besides the fact that I do want to have a relationship with an older transgender woman, say if a man starts transitioning at 65, that's the guy I want. If you by yourself, I'm the girl for you. Let's go out. Let's go out shopping. I'll get a few shots from, and so we can hit the life fantastic. Maybe. Right now I'm quarantined, but that's the girl for me. But there's something else I want to clear up too. Most of my life, I have watched them talk about old African American women most disparagingly. If you ain't a mother of the cult, then you're not. And in the community, I hear it over and over and over again, and I'm sick of it. It's like in T.S. Madison camp, Miss Mary is the mother. She's the mother that supports her daughter. When no other old people, no other old people support transgender folks. No other old black, no other old African American one supports transgender people. You know? So, I'm here to say that is not true. A transgender woman touched my life while she herself was in transition. She saw this blank canvas and filled in the blanks. Told me how to love being a woman. That we just not to wash the dishes, screw a man, and make babies. Martin told me to be proud to be a woman. Where I came from, baptism where everything, it was cursed, your parents cursed, your kids cursed, everything cursed, but everybody want to hump on them. I met Martin, and he said the best thing in the world. You have the best thing in the world. You being a woman is the most beautiful thing in the world. And I kept saying, what? Really? 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 I was taught down there in Baptist that your beauty comes from how clean your house is, how obedient you are to your husband. That was a new concept for me. So I want to let you know that Miss Maury ain't the only one that has supported you all these years. I've been doing it. I just couldn't remember why. At 60 something, I'm remembering why now. Because I would ask myself, what is my interest in the community? Why am I drawn to the community? Why do I care about the community? That's what I would ask. Why am I outraged when you attack the community? And this is the LGBTQ community. Why? Why? I know why. Because I love Martin. Martin introduced me to the community. And then Shane introduced me to the community, and then Ducky introduced me to the community, and then Lonnie introduced me to the community, and then Michael introduced me to the community. Oh, I remember my friend from Portchester's name, and I didn't write it down, so no, I can't remember it. And the TS woman from the Beverly introduced me to the LGBTQ community, and I've forgotten. But I was all into it. I didn't know why. I had forgotten the why, but I knew I was all in support. And you're wonderful people. Honored to have your sister girl. And let me tell you, I was in, oh yeah, I was in, going back, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I have the kind of insurance that will allow you to be in the hospital for 3 days as long as they can snatch you off the streets. And I went to the doctor in reference to my eye and got snatched off the street for 3 days. And when I was in that hospital, knowing that there should be no reason for me to be there, just give me the prescription and let me go about my way. But my insurance gives you 3 days to throw me in a hospital, and that's why I stay away from the place. Anyway, I was in there. I was like, oh, Lord, please don't let them kill me. Please don't let them kill me. Please don't let them kill me. I'm an old black woman. I know they don't give a damn. I don't know. I know they don't care. I know they don't care. I don't know. And then just as I'm working myself up into the state, one of my LGBTQ girls came through, my gay girl came through, and I can't even tell you how relieved I was. I was like, okay, they ain't gonna kill me. I cannot tell you. The little gay boy, gay all the way through. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And he sat down and he talked to me and he knew, and we laughed. And because that's how I always got along in the community. And I forgot the reason why I get along in the community like that is because of Martin and these in Bed-Stuy. And that's where the Bed-Stuy Brownstone stories come from. My introduction into the LGBT community back in the late 70s, early 80s by my friend Martin, who was in transition. And that's why, anyway, they call it, oh yeah, I'll put it on it. They call it gaydar, but it's not. I know a friend. I know I have never had an enemy in the gay community. Never. Oh my hand, never. Never had an enemy in the gay community. Because if they was out, I know that was hard. I know it was hard. I know it from Martin's experience. I know it from living back in the days when you came out, you got your ass beat or shot. So when I see them flaming, flipping, turning, I say, do you, boo, do you. And when I see T.S. Madison with them wigs on looking good and them eyelashes like she had on that, but I ain't spending my time because I don't want my. I said, do you, boo? Do you? When I see Fling and Spillet Boy and Bob the Drag Queen and all of them, I know it's hard, easier now, but they came from the days of hard, honey. So I know. And I ain't got no problem with you. Never, 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 never. And it's because of Martin. Okay, let me do another check of my thing. Yep, I'm telling you, I was in that hospital. Yep, I saw the sister girls back and forth. You know, they was the nurses and stuff. I was still like, oh my God, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me. That night with Lucretia came flaming through. I was like, oh yeah. Burn here, burn here. And of course, true to form, had me laughing, did his job. He was on point. So I want to say the reason why, besides trying to find a mate for the rest of my life, another reason why I do this Bed-Stuy Brownstone stories is to let the community know that all old African American women are not community hate. We don't hate the community like that. Don't throw us all in the same bag. My life was changed. I learned to love being a woman from a drag queen when I was in my 20s, coming from being down south where they said that women are just ass wipes for men. Where you have no existence. You had no existence unless you. I was judged because I didn't have a boyfriend that wrote a note to my grandmother so I could start dating. So I had to go find a boyfriend, my girlfriend's brother. And he wrote a note. And then somehow I became worthy. I became a woman because I had him write a note asking my grandmother if he could date me. And then everybody was like, oh, she's a woman. I was like, how about all this incest running around here? Did that not give y'all a clue that I'm a woman? But no. It was the fact that I got a man from the outside to ask to date me. That finally it was like, okay, you're a woman. But then I came to New York and I met Martin. And Martin says, you know how blessed you are to be a woman? And I almost looked over my shoulder like, who are you talking to? You can't be talking to me. I ain't never heard blessed a woman in the same. I ain't never heard blessed a woman in the same sentence. Blessed to be a woman. Ooh, look at those cheekbones, those high cheekbones. Come over, come over and touch it. Ooh, little rose, and I was like, okay, touching me, so you got to be talking about me. I'm sorry, she's touching me. She got to be talking about me. And I was like, oh, you know, a little eyeliner, and if you do it, and I'm like, and then, you know, as we got closer, then because I still bought bras from, what is it, Maiden Form, you know, the pointy, oh, we probably don't know, the ponytail bras that pointed straight out. And Martin, he would come see me and he said, let me adjust the girls for you. And you know what? Somehow he rounded out that pointy bra. I could never round it out. He just maneuvered these. Yes, he did. He reached in and moved. It didn't bother me. Because after he finished, I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, wow, These girls, they're sitting a lot better. What? And over time, I remember feeling how Martin moved the girls, because you see, we weren't taught that. My grandmother told me, don't bruise your chest. Don't do anything to bruise your chest. That's as far as it went. But as far as getting in there and moving around and talking about that, no, they never talked about that. They didn't talk women stuff. They talk women how to please men stuff. That's the cults from women's only thing, or the cult leader, like the molesting pastor that just went around touching ass, titties, kissing, tongue, doing whatever he wanted to do, like we were sacrifices. That's what I came from. So again, when you're in that kind of atmosphere, it doesn't make you more of a woman. It beats you down and defeats you. It's just that you know you're an object for the pleasure of a man. And then in Bed-Stuy, on the stoop, sitting there with Vanessa, I got introduced to Martin. And he said, being a woman is the most beautiful thing ever. And he can't wait till that inside woman shows on the outside. And I was like, and I've been in love with the LGBTQ community ever since. I've never had a problem. And as my family, you say, oh, Vicky and her gays. And I'd be like, oh my God. Oh, I can't stand being around them. Not the gays family. Because they're the judgy. I'm not a judgy. See, when I came from the South, I was sitting there looking like that, all beaten down. They figured it was right, little Southern girl. And they didn't pay me no attention. And then Martin came over. And he was happy. He was happy to be with another girl that we can do girl things with. And we did a lot of girl things with. And that's why my best mate for me at my age, if I'm going to have a mate for the rest of my life, I want my mate to be a transgender woman. Like I said, I don't want a young one. I don't want a young. I want an old one. My age or older. And let me see. Let me look at my notes. Did I forget anything? I did. Oh. Before I started this live, I live on YouTube. There was this jazz station, I think coming out of Japan, a video. And I put it on, getting ready to go live. And they were playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I thought about my Martin, who died before he can transition totally from man to woman. So I think about Martin every time I look at T.S. Madness show, every time I listen to Miss Sophia on her radio station when she puts up her videos. When I go over to see Flame, and he telling us that if he don't have a certain number of people viewing, he out. And spilling Treasure Boy. Oh, I dearly love. And I just remember Martin. And it makes me happy. So when I heard Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I thought about Martin. I was like, okay, he supports me doing these stories because we love the community. So as you're seeing in with the old black woman, don't have in your heart that, oh, we hate you, we don't accept the gay community. No, there's some that's still in the cult that can't, because there's rule books and there's people telling them they have to follow the rules. I'm not that person. I've never been that person. Though it was forced on me, I never accepted it, and I came out on top. And I love the community. So if it's one, they say it's many more. So it's me, it's many more like me that support the community, love the community, give donations, do whatever we can to support. Okay? So look at that. Look at that. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can get the music back going. Uh-oh. I was gonna try to be cool. Oh. Look at me. Well, that's it. See ya. Oh, see you tomorrow morning at 7 for our half-hour virtual walk. And for Bed-Sty Brownstone stories, see you Thursday at 4:30. Thanks for coming on and sitting on the porch with me. Have a good evening.